Kris wakes up looking absolutely cooked, with their skin straight up decaying without a soul. They are snooping through their brother Asriel's drawer, reading unsent love letters, because boundaries are just a suggestion. The lore dropping this early is already insane, and sets a super dark vibe. Kris explores their house, checking the fridge only to find some ketchup thief has been at it. Toriel is chilling by the microwave toaster oven. Seeing Toriel casually asking Kris to make honey toast, while Sans is apparently acting like a responsible father figure, is top-tier surreal. Kris runs into Asgore outside, who is yapping about his glory days, winning the festival king and queen titles with Toriel. Asgore drops some heavy lore about trying to get his old job back. It totally feels like Carol is blackmailing him, which is honestly kind of tragic. Kris and Susie finally head into the dark world, hitting up Castle Town. The place is completely decked out. It is crazy seeing familiar faces like Lancer and Swatch, hyping everyone up to help Susie prep for her big festival date. The vibes are completely immaculate here. Kris hands over a shadow crystal to Seam, who drops a massive truth bomb. They reveal the crystals are actually the physical remains of failed dreams and broken attachments. It is some deep, philosophical lore that completely recontextualizes the roaring night and the whole dark fountain situation. The squad tries to hook Susie up with a fresh fit for her date with Noelle. Lancer prints out this completely unhinged custom outfit that looks like a chaotic disaster. Susie obviously rejects it and decides to just be her authentic self, rocking her classic look instead. The gang is just exploring the castle rooms and checking out Susie's absolutely spiked bed. Rolsey gets a super cute room makeover too. The whole sequence is just pure cozy downtime, letting everyone vibe and build their friendships before the real chaos of the chapter kicks in. The peaceful energy completely evaporates as Kris and the squad get dragged into a fight with the trashy trio. Newbert literally goes Super Saiyan mode. The bullet patterns are absolutely chaotic and bouncing everywhere. It is a massive skill check right out of the gate for no reason. The battle against Newbert and the trashy trio becomes a total grindfest. Kris and Rolsey are barely surviving the bullet hell mechanics while trying to manage their healing items. It is genuinely a sweat fest, just trying to survive these meme characters who decided to pop off. Kris and Susie head back to hometown for the festival. Susie meets up with Noelle outside the school looking totally fresh. The awkward but completely adorable tension between Susie and Noelle is off the charts. Kris is just tagging along as the ultimate third wheel for their date. Hi there. If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. The trio hits up a strength tester carnival game run by a depressed Napstab look. Susie completely ignores the rules and just smashes the hammer solo to show off. The game is supposed to test their bond, but Susie is just living her best chaotic life while Noelle watches. They run into Noelle's dad, Rudy, who is out of the hospital and putting up festive lights in an alleyway. He is totally hyping up Noelle's date with Susie, playing the ultimate supportive dad role. It is super wholesome, but knowing his health issues makes it feel pretty stressful. The gang gets some weird holiday twist ice cream from a vendor who makes them fill out a punch card. Noelle draws a picture of them, and then they have to awkwardly draw Rolsey on it too. It is a subtle but cool way of blending their two worlds. Susie and Noelle go on the Ferris wheel together, while Kris completely closes their eyes to give them privacy. The romantic tension is peaking as they blush at each other. It is a massive win for their relationship arc, even if the ride randomly stops halfway up. Asgore completely crashes the date by showing up and offering everyone free flowers. Susie and Noelle are entirely hopeless at taking a hint for a romantic moment. Asgore is just trying to be a sweet guy, but the sheer awkwardness of the whole interaction is completely sending me. The group runs into this total disaster of a public concert where a guy is singing to his fake girlfriend, Pizzerina. It is pure second-hand embarrassment. The cringe levels are absolutely critical as they stand there watching this guy embarrass himself in front of the whole town. The fake girlfriend situation reaches its breaking point when they finally tell the pizza guy the truth. The guy completely loses it, screaming and deciding to quit his job and give up on everything. It is a brutal reality check that leaves everyone feeling totally horrible. Susie and Noelle finally get a quiet moment alone at the lake. The sunset is stunning, and Susie literally carries Noelle into the water. It is an incredibly soft and cinematic moment. The vibes are completely perfect as they just listen to each other's heartbeats. The lake scene peaks when Noelle and Susie basically confess that they like each other. They talk about running away but realize being together makes staying worth it. It is the absolute cutest interaction ever, entirely validating everyone who has been shipping them since the beginning. The romantic vibes get absolutely shattered when Noelle's mom calls with terrible news. Rudy fell down at the festival and is super sick again. Noelle has to bail immediately, completely heartbroken. The tonal whiplash is crazy, turning the best day ever into an absolute nightmare instantly. Kris and Susie investigate Asgore's flower shop and realize someone totally broke in and opened a dark fountain. It is a massive plot twist that immediately raises the stakes. Kris gets completely dragged by Susie for taking too long, and they jump right into the darkness to save Asgore. Kris and Susie land in the new dark world and are immediately hit with the craziest plot twist ever. Flowery is just casually chilling there, talking to Asgore with full voice acting. Who even is this guy? Susie finds Rolsey shoved into a random wardrobe. Flowery apparently stuffed him in there just to be a menace. Rolsey is already fed up and dropping his usual polite act, which is hilarious. The beef between Rolsey and Flowery is instantly established as top-tier comedy. The gang gets into their first battle in the new garden-themed dark world. They fight some weird flower enemies while Flowery randomly chimes in with his fully voiced, unhinged dialogue. The combat mechanics are fresh, but trying to focus while Flowery yaps is an absolute struggle. Kris is forced to navigate this incredibly frustrating puzzle involving soft mushrooms and adorable little kitsune fox spirits. Getting the timing right to catch the foxes while dealing with the mushroom bites is deeply annoying. It is one of those classic puzzles that totally tests your patience. Flowery forcefully joins the party with completely maxed out stats, acting like he owns the place. Rolsey is absolutely seething about it. Flowery flexes his ridiculous health and acts super smug, creating the most toxic but hilarious party dynamic the game has ever seen. Kris solves a weird watering puzzle that involves making an undestroyed loaf of bread grow into a massive rose. The logic of this dark world is completely unhinged. The surreal nature of the environment is peaking, making it feel like a total hallucination compared to previous chapters. The squad gets locked into a fight with these weird scissor enemies that do a salon cut attack. Dodging the precision lines is super tricky and messes with the screen. Kris and the team barely manage to spare them while dealing with the chaotic bullet patterns. The environment randomly shifts into this old-school cowboy diner aesthetic. Flowery keeps distracting Asgore with root beer floats and country music mixtapes to keep him away from the truth. It is a super weird vibe, but Asgore seems to be completely falling for the illusion. Kris runs into an enemy pretending to be them in a fake bullet mini-game. It is a total Undertale Yellow reference with the Ketsukane estate vibes. The battle requires dodging fake attacks while fighting the faker, making it a super meta and deeply confusing encounter. The team hits a puzzle that requires 4 people to stand on switches. Flowery swoops in, does a literal dance revolution move to solve it, and flexes on everyone. Rolsey looks like he is ready to throw hands. The sheer disrespect from Flowery is unmatched. Flowery officially ditches the squad, telling Kris to just go home and let him handle Asgore's happiness. He tries to act like the hero while being incredibly shady. Rolsey drops the nice guy act completely, realizing Flowery is manipulating the entire situation for his own weird agenda. Kris meets the Cyan soul, a feather girl who talks about how human she is. She completely blocks the path, refusing to let them pass. She challenges them to a game, setting up a boss fight that feels like it is straight out of an anime tournament arc. The battle against the Cyan soul gets incredibly intense. Her attacks involve spinning knives and copying moves, testing Kris's reaction time to the absolute limit. Praising her lowers her guard, but dodging her precision strikes is a massive skill issue moment that requires intense focusing. The game completely breaks its own rules and turns into a 2D side-scrolling platformer. Kris uses the petal feather to jump around like a classic platforming protagonist. It is an amazing gameplay shift that totally flips the script and makes the chapter feel incredibly fresh. Kris is straight-up wave dashing and platforming across moving platforms and vines. The mechanics are super smooth, basically turning Deltarune into a completely different genre for a minute. The sheer creativity of this section proves how wild the developers are willing to get with the engine. The squad spies on Asgore and Flowery. Flowery is actively encouraging Asgore's delusions about the Dark Fountain, feeding his paranoia about the roaring night. It is deeply manipulative behavior. Flowery is basically gaslighting Asgore into thinking this fake world is better than his actual reality. Kris encounters a group of colorful flower characters who all desperately want to be humans. They argue over their names and colors in this super bizarre interaction. The whole concept of flowers trying to mimic human souls is a massive callback to classic Undertale lore elements. After a brutal sequence of dodging coordinated bullet patterns from the flower squad, Kris finally beats their attack. The teamwork aspect of the enemies is super cool, but surviving it is a complete sweatfest. The gang manages to push through, leaving the flower humans totally stunned. Kris gets locked into a fight with a weird bird enemy named Poto. The mechanics require calling and shooting, turning the battle into a weird rhythm-based interaction. It is a quirky little fight that breaks up the tension before they have to keep climbing the castle. The squad hits another massive side-scrolling slide section. They are zooming down ramps and avoiding obstacles at top speed. It is pure adrenaline and feels like a roller coaster ride, keeping the energy super high as they get closer to the top of Asgore's weird dream castle. The Cyan soul comes back for round 2, spamming her knife attacks at ridiculous speeds. She completely changes up her tactics, trying to psych out the team. Kris barely survives the absolute bullet hell she unleashes, ultimately outsmarting her ego to secure the win and move forward. The gang finally catches up to Asgore, but he completely loses it. Manipulated by Flowery and the Shadow Crystal, Asgore locks Kris and the squad in a literal jail cell. Seeing Kris's own dad turn against them because of his trauma is honestly a super heartbreaking moment. Trapped in jail, the squad manages to trick the flower guards into playing a game to let them out. Susie and Rolsey use pure psychological manipulation to get the door open. It is a classic Deltarune puzzle escape that proves they are always one step ahead of the guards. After escaping, they hit up a cafe run by the Aqua Soul. They spend some sketchy flowery dollars to take a break and heal up. The whole vibe is super weird, balancing the intense escape with a totally chill hangout spot right in the middle of enemy territory. Kris discovers some old documents written by Asgore with totally scrambled text. Rolsey realizes these notes are about a dark world from a long time ago. It implies the Roaring Night has been creating fountains way longer than anyone thought, dropping some absolutely massive lore implications. The squad gets stopped by the Yellow Soul, a cowboy who is obsessed with justice. He accuses them of crushing Blue's flowers and demands they face punishment. His entire persona is a huge homage to Undertale Yellow, bringing that Western justice energy right into the main storyline. The Yellow Soul realizes he made a mistake and immediately tries to self-punish in the most dramatic ways possible. He ties himself to train tracks and tries to blow himself up. It is insanely dark comedy as Kris and the squad actively have to stop him from dying. They run into Blue, a super dramatic butterfly flower who speaks in absolute poetry. Blue claims to be an ally of love and gives them a key to move forward. The Tumblr aesthetic of this character is off the charts, bringing serious theatrical energy to the chaotic castle. The squad is forced into a literal courtroom trial by the Yellow Soul to prove their innocence. It turns into an Ace Attorney-style minigame where they have to present evidence to solve random crimes. Failing the logic puzzles leads to taking damage, making it super stressful. They catch another glimpse of Asgore completely spiraling into madness. He is obsessed with proving his conspiracy theories right, hoping it will fix his broken family. Flowery just keeps feeding his delusions. It is incredibly sad watching Asgore's trauma completely hijack his sense of reality. Kris completely fumbles a massive switch puzzle, struggling for way too long to get the platforms right. It is a total brain-empty moment where the solution is obvious, but the execution keeps failing. They finally brute force it, feeling completely exhausted by the mechanics. They get ambushed by the Orange Soul, a tiny chibi boxer with a massive ego. She talks a huge game about being the strongest human, but is literally just a tiny mouse. Her attacks are relentless though, proving she definitely has the hands to back up her yapping. To progress, Kris has to run around catching these hyperactive little foxes hiding in the scenery. It is a super tedious fetch quest where the foxes keep juking them out. Getting the last one takes embarrassing amounts of time, totally killing the serious momentum of the climb. The Green Soul shows up, acting like a fast food worker, throwing healing items that actually speed up her attacks if you eat them. It is a super deceptive boss fight mechanic. The squad has to survive her insane speed boosts while dealing with her completely unhinged culinary dialogue. Rolsey and Flowery have a super intense philosophical standoff. Flowery mocks Rolsey for praying and following the rules, while Rolsey stays completely grounded in his faith. It is a rare moment where Rolsey drops the cute act and shows exactly how resilient his belief in the prophecy is. Kris has to dodge a gauntlet of ninja stars while doing some high-speed platforming. The precision required is completely brutal. One wrong step means getting shredded by the projectiles. It is a massive test of their movement skills right before the final stretch of the castle. The gang gets thrown back into the courtroom to solve who stole Blue's special petals. The logic is super twisted, and picking the wrong evidence triggers massive damage. It turns out Blue made the gift himself, ending the dramatic trial with a completely ridiculous misunderstanding. After the trial wraps up, Blue forgives everyone and lets them pass. The whole Justice mini-arc resolves with everyone holding hands, metaphorically. It is a super goofy resolution that perfectly balances out the darker undertones of Asgore's ongoing mental breakdown happening in the background. Rolsey gets super serious with Kris, explaining that creating dark fountains will absolutely trigger the roaring and end the world. He admits Kris has a special, unpredictable energy, but trusts them to find a happy ending. It is a deeply emotional moment, cementing Rolsey's absolute loyalty. The squad finally reaches the top of the castle and confronts the 7 flower humans. Flowery and the gang are ready to defend Asgore's fantasy world at all costs. The emotional stakes are massive as both sides are fighting for what they believe is genuine love and protection. The battle against the entire Flower Squad kicks off, and it is absolute chaos. They are launching combo attacks from every direction, requiring Kris to dash and dodge perfectly. The sensory overload is insane, making it one of the hardest bullet hell sequences in the entire game. The fight transitions into the ultimate showdown. Flowery initiates an Omega Flowery-style attack, completely breaking the screen and overwhelming the squad. Kris and Susie have to use every bit of teamwork and healing. They have to survive the sheer absurdity of Flowery's final form. Asgore finally snaps out of his delusion, realizing his obsession with the dark world almost got Kris killed. He completely breaks down, apologizing for his failures and self-hatred. It is an incredibly raw and tragic moment of clarity as Asgore accepts reality over his fantasy. With the illusion broken, the 7 flower humans accept their fate and say their final goodbyes. They slowly wither away, thanking Kris for letting them experience a dream. It is super bittersweet, wrapping up their arcs as they peacefully accept the end of their temporary existence. Kris steps up to seal the dark fountain, but the roaring night suddenly crashes the party. Flowery steps in to defend the squad, sacrificing himself to hold the night back. It is an insane redemption moment for Flowery, proving he actually cared about them in the end. Before escaping, Kris digs through Flowery's soil and finds a ripped piece of paper containing Asgore's police shelter code. Susie immediately pieces it together with tape. Securing the code is a massive victory, giving them exactly what they need to prepare for the coming apocalypse. Back in hometown, the sun has set. Susie asks Kris to walk her home, dropping her tough act and admitting the danger is getting too real. They arrive at Susie's house, and the chapter abruptly ends on a massive cliffhanger, leaving everyone starving for Chapter 6. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.